So there was one time I had a truckload going from our distribution center in Dallas and heading up to like Chicago. And there's a couple, those border stops that they got to go through and check everything.
Yeah.
And I had heard that one of my loads got flagged for, I think it was going up for like to Trader Joe's or something like that. And when it was heading up that way, I heard it got stopped. So I called the DPS location and I said, hey, I need those avocados. They're a perishable commodity. I need to get it rolling. You guys didn't give me any background behind it. You haven't sent me anything, get it out.
Yeah, what do I got to do?
And I go, I own all those avocados. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, what's your name? Give me all your information. Start taking it down. And then
he's like, sir, put your hands behind your back.
Pretty much like over the phone. And
what?
It's like, and so I'm like, I go, what's going on? I go, those are my avocados. I own that. I own that truck. It's one of my own trucks that we run. And I go, I got to get them rolling. I go, and he goes, all right. He goes, you own all the people in it too?
What?
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Lambo and Leroy Show. Man, we are doing it. We're on a good roll right now.
Yeah.
I think we're right at episode 30 almost.
Yeah.
29 or 30, so we're stoked on that. Sean, who we got today?
Well, we got an awesome guest, someone I'm really excited about, and someone I think everyone's going to be super pumped to hear about too. I mean, I think in the end, we're going to know a lot more about avocados and how that process works, which is, to me, is extremely interesting because in the end, it's a business, and it's a large business, and it's
Huge.
a competitive business, and there's a lot of contributing factors to being successful in that business, just like every business. But then also, what's really rad about our guest Heath here is he's just like all of us. Into the boats, they're raced trophy trucks for 8 years. I mean, he lives that same lifestyle too, and so it's easy to see why they've been successful in one category because they're passionate about their toys and having fun. And if it wasn't for our toys and our family and our ability to go have fun, why would we work so hard? So it's easy to see why you guys would be successful in that category because we all want to go have fun and have awesome toys. So welcome, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I know we were trying to get this on the schedule a couple of weeks ago and kind of things got messed up with some time.
Dude,
a lot of that's
crazy.
Me. Well, I mean, like I feel bad because I hope everyone that's listening to the current podcast with Bryant alone and not me dislikes it for my sake, right? I hope you all missed me.
You guys hated last week's episode.
Yeah, please just say you hated it, but still go give it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
and 5 stars.
Yeah, exactly. Share it though.
But so we met in the dunes. Obviously, he's got a bitch and sand cars on aluminum. The thing is pristine, and clearly he rips it hard too. He likes to go out have fun. We were sitting there chatting one time as we're dumping more water into it because we're wondering why it's running so hot. Yeah. About just kind of the business aspects. Always curious to kind of hear where people come from. Like, I mean, we can have that same, like our passions all bring us together, but what provides those? And you guys, your family is West Pak, and it's not a name I was really familiar with. I don't think most people are, but it's tied to a fruit, right? Mm-hmm. A fruit that, I mean, most people in Southern California really love. And I mean, anytime you go on a diet, like that's what you eat because it's good protein, everything with it. Avocados. Tell us a little bit about West Pak. Like, first off, I guess you guys, I think, were number 2 in the world. Is that what I remember you saying?
Number 2, number 3 in the U.S., depending on market share. But
in the U.S. And then you have farms and properties in how many different countries?
So we currently grow and pack and distribute in Mexico, California, and Colombia.
Wow.
And we'll go into those a little bit further later on the acreage and things like that. And then we also source from Peru and Chile.
Wow.
So we're bringing in, from all over the world, and then we distribute all over the world.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, prior to hearing that, I was just thinking like locally grown type of things, like the small little farm, maybe down there, like near Coachella or down by Brawley, in Imperial Valley is like where you would,
Well, trust me, it wasn't a good pickup line in high school or in college. You're like, hey, I sell avocados for a living. And all the girls were like, oh, so you got like a farm stand on the side of the road? You get $5 for $1?
$5 for $1, good deal right there.
A little bit bigger than that.
Yeah,
right?
Just a little bit.
So, how did, I mean, obviously I'm assuming it started out with one seed at one time, right? We all love good avocado.
I love avocados.
California gold right there.
It sure is. Oh, another fun fact too, he was telling us is all the commercials and stuff are funded by you and some of the other partners or other.
Yeah, so other companies just like us. So, you know,
the avocado commercials.
Avocado
Eat
commercials.
avocados.
Yeah, you know, avocados
That's
from
awesome.
Mexico. You know, that whole little jingle. You know, we all contribute to that, but that's, you know, a group called AFM, Avocados from Mexico, that
That's
put it on.
awesome.
But we all contribute to that. They are the marketing masterminds behind that, but we all pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody who does things like, you know, like what we do. So,
It's rad.
Yeah.
So how did you guys start? Like, how did this go?
yeah, no, it's a good question. So my dad and his partner, it's owned by two families. It's the Shoup family, which is my side, and then the Newhouse family.
Okay.
Both families have kids in the business. I'm our vice president of sales, product management, and logistics. So I run a few different departments. The other guys who, you know, are like brothers to me, Kellen Newhouse and Trevor Newhouse, one's our vice president of sourcing. So he spends a lot of time in the other countries. And then the other guys are vice president of operations. So he's running all of our packing houses, doing R&D on new bagging machines, new packing machines, everything like that. And then Kellen's trying to find us, obviously, the next best thing for avocados, where they can be grown at, like the Dominican Republic or, you know, even Africa, Australia, places like that. So, you
It's
know,
awesome to have powerhouses in all those categories because most like family businesses don't have that strength in all areas.
well, strength, we're all alpha males. So, I mean, you know, there's one day that we could hate each other. The next day, dude, we're buddies and we're trying to figure this thing out. But, you know, the one thing that we have in mind is, you know, what we want to do is make money, you know?
So did it start with like, you know, your dad or their dad walking by going, hey, nice avocado tree. I could probably sell some of those and move it, you know, start moving it? Or how did that start?
So the big mover back in the day was tomatoes.
Okay.
So they, the Newhouse family, they were into tomatoes. My dad was into tomatoes and strawberries.
Oh, wow.
At one time, they were actually, you know, customer vendor kind of relationships there.
And is this in the States?
In the state of California.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly in San Diego County, when produce was, you know, it was obviously big, but a little bit smaller. They had developed a relationship. And then one day, they literally got together with another guy who's no longer part of the business. They bought him out and said, you know, why don't we start our own thing, start doing avocados. So early on, we did avocados, we did mangoes, we did papayas, we did kumquats, you know, things like that. All fresh fruit, you know, nothing processed or anything like that. And we still don't do anything processed, all fresh. But, you know, sort of slowly those other items phased out. And we are just focusing on strictly fresh avocados.
So back then, why did they switch to avocados? Did they see it like, oh, it's going to be a big boom? Was there a lot of people doing it? Was there not a lot of people doing it?
There wasn't a lot of people doing it. Some of our other competitors have been doing it longer. You know, I don't mind talking about them. Mission Produce.
Yeah.
They're a big company.
Yeah.
Probably the largest in our industry. You know, they're the ones who have the target on their back that we're always constantly going after.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's smaller guys that have just been around. And largely the avocado market started in Fallbrook, California.
Yeah.
Mexico wasn't allowed in the United States.
Really?
Chile was more of kind of like the first one that kind of came in. So they saw a need for, you know, another avocado packer to be able to source and work with California growers to help get their product to market. And so, you know, it flourished from there. We started out at a tiny packing house in Fallbrook.
Wow.
You know, that, you know, like dirt floors, everything was like kept outside.
Hey,
and
it
it just
worked.
like,
And so you started out not necessarily growing, but packing, being a process manufacturer, right?
a little bit of both. So both families had their own groves, small. The average grove size in California, I want to say right now, with how much acreage you have here, is 5 to 7 acres. So very small. So that means like I would own a grove, you'd own a grove, he'd own a grove.
Yeah.
You know, it just.
So you got, at that point, you have 20 acres between everyone.
Yeah. You know,
okay.
in essence. And a lot of it, what it was used for is to separate you from your neighbor.
Oh, okay.
You know, and
Yeah,
it just, and
the
then
filled area.
And then
It
we're
was,
like,
it was cheaper than putting up a fence, right? You just put up the groves or something.
and
And make some money on it.
And exactly, make
Yeah,
some money
make
on
money
it.
on it.
And so then we know that we identified that, and then they were like, okay, well, we can go talk to them and them and them and them and start bringing in all their avocados
Wow.
and put them to market. You know, get them into the Costco's, get them into the Sam's Clubs, things
That's
like
smart.
that.
Well,
And that
it's
was
so smart.
before avocados just took off.
Well,
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't know. My family, we've always tried to like put an avocado tree and get it growing, and it literally takes fucking
takes
forever
years.
to get those things
Yeah.
to like start producing anything. Like, so it would, I mean, it'd be if you just started from a couple seeds, it'd be a long-term investment from right there. But I mean, it could be fruitful in the end, but
Yeah. So really, like one thing a lot of people don't know is that if you just take the seed and plant it into the ground, it will not. 9 times out of 10, it will not produce avocados.
Really?
It'll grow a beautiful, massive tree, but it won't.
So it has to be like a fertile seed almost?
Yeah, or like a graph. Things. Sometimes it will.
Yeah.
But, you see like these TikToks where they put like the toothpicks on a seed, put it in the water, it starts to grow, and then they're like, they put it in the ground. That really will not grow.
Really?
Wow.
Maybe that's why we always failed. Just throw the shit in the ground.
Well, it's crazy. My parents growing up, they had an avocado tree in their backyard, and that thing flourished every year. And the dogs were so fat because the dogs were eating all the ones that were falling on the ground, and they loved it, but that thing flourished like crazy. All of our life growing up. So we had avocados our whole childhood.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors would come over. We give them bags full. And so, are they easy to grow? Are they very hard to grow? I mean, I guess how does that work?
Fairly easy. It's, if I say, hey, go get into the avocado growing business today. No. I mean, that'd be like,
well, it's different.
Telling somebody to go get in the marijuana business today. It's easy.
It's easy. Have a dispensary. It's super easy, dude.
But no, I mean, the biggest challenge with them in any different country, there's always the one thing. But for California, it's water.
Really? Okay.
Water is going to be the biggest.
It takes a lot of water?
A lot of water.
Okay.
I think they're second behind, I think it's like almonds.
Really?
Almonds take a shit ton of water.
Wow.
Really?
I would have thought
avocados
I would
do
never have thought almonds.
I know.
would have been
They're so small.
Yeah. So
I guess I've never seen an almond tree either, though.
Yeah. But, avocados, a lot of water here. Sometimes harvesting and, taking care of the trees can be a little bit more expensive here.
Yeah.
But then you go to like Colombia. Colombia's infrastructure on roads is terrible. Okay. Absolutely fucking terrible. Yeah, you go 60 miles, it's going to take you 6 hours.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, and it's just, you almost wish you had the trophy truck there. Almost, just so you get there faster.
Get there way faster, yeah.
Yeah, 2 people just gone, But yeah, and usually when we go to Colombia, at times we'll just look at just renting a helicopter.
To get from spot to spot faster.
To get from grove to grove. And I think our average grove size in Colombia right now is probably about 500 hectares. Which, if you haven't heard the hectare,
I've never heard hectare.
So hectares for
is that a Hispanic joke?
Yeah, so it's not yet. We'll get to this. Okay. No, it's like 2.4 acres in 1 hectare.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, that's a lot.
Wait, so 500 of those. I mean, wow.
You're like over 1,000. So,
and how many of those do you have down there?
So in Colombia right now, I believe the last statistic or numbers that we've seen is that West Pak, we are the largest U.S. based grower in Colombia. Now there's other Colombian owned growers and live there that are larger than us, but being in the United States, we are the largest.
And are these being put into containers and then being shipped, or how do you?
Yeah, how do you get them here fast enough?
Because they're obviously you want to get them at a certain point so they're still solid, so they don't just smash onto each other. But
yeah, so in Colombia, so right now I think planted. That's coming into harvest. We have about 1,800 hectares. So
holy crap, that's insane.
Yeah. Our end game will be about 3,000.
So 3,000. That's not 9,000 acres.
Yeah, about 7,500, 8,000.
Still, that's massive.
I mean, we don't want to break down the math too much, but that's a lot of trees.
That's a lot of trees, a lot of avocados.
Now, do you own the land, or is it owned by them and you guys run?
No, we own the land.
You own the land.
Yeah, down there. We also grow in Jalisco. In Jalisco, Jalisco, Mexico, which, being in Jalisco, being a U.S. company, U.S. citizens, we can own land down there. Now, if you're in a place where the majority of the avocados grow, which is a place called Yarapan, Michoacan, which is
that's mainland, right? That's not that's not peninsula.
No, it's not the peninsula. Mainland, kind of like Mexico City.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of south from there.
Yeah.
We can't own land there. You have to be a Mexican.
Isn't it like a 99-year lease or something like that?
No, it's Mexican citizenship.
Oh, you have to, no matter what.
No matter what, you have to be a citizen down there to own.
Wow. Really? Okay.
So we can't own there, but if you're a Mexican citizen, you can own there. We'd come in.
Here we're gonna
buy you.
We're gonna take care of you. Don't worry.
We're gonna buy your avocados.
Right.
Here's a big bag of cash.
Yeah,
or
that's
things
insane.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're asking how they get here. So we harvest them, and anything that comes from Colombia or Chile or Peru comes over in sea containers.
Okay.
Now Colombia gets here a lot faster. It takes about a week on the water, whereas Chile and Peru take 3 weeks.
And they're still good?
Yeah, they're still good.
I feel like every time I get them home, they're gone. They're already bad the next day.
It depends on where you're shopping.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah.
No, but it all depends on what how long the product's been here in the United States.
Oh, that's true. How long it sits for.
But even California fruit, at times it's harvested today, it'll pack tomorrow. It potentially could go into our pre-ripening rooms where we pre-ripen for the stores.
Wow.
And it would be out on the shelf, probably no longer than a week.
Wow.
Depending on how much product
awesome.
is sitting in the United States.
I mean, like when you think about that, that is a massive undertaking to take all this, get it through a process, and then get it out in 1,000 different directions to land in the same place on the same time.
Well, when you actually see it and everything that goes into it and all the machinery and all the technology, and then you go, well, wait a minute, the store sells this on the shelf for 75 cents. Mm-hmm. How do you guys make any money?
It's crazy. Well, we know why guac is extra though. Why it costs extra for guacamole everywhere.
Oh yeah, like a Cafe Rio or
Chipotle.
Yeah.
That is so much work going into this. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
No, it is. It's really, really, really cool.
I mean, what is the size of the industry?
God, it's massive right now. We're in a really big crop this year. Daily right now we're running at about. We look at mostly on poundage.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting in the United States right now, there's about 60 million pounds of avocado sitting in the United States right now. And you go, wow, that sounds like a lot of fruit, but it's quite a bit.
Love avocado though.
I mean, some of these are close to a pound a piece.
The United States will probably consume, or what we say consume or ship throughout all the stores and wholesale and food service guys, about 50 to 55 million pounds a week.
Yeah. A week.
Wow.
So that's including everything coming from Colombia and Mexico?
Well, that's just like the industry
that's
as
the
a
industry
whole.
Yeah.
Depending on the time of season of what's there and what's coming in. California's running full bore right now. So California's got really, really, really good fruit. Mexico, we've got.
Is it because of all the rainwater and everything we got?
Yeah, it really helps the trees.
Yeah.
All the rain that we've had. A lot of people are bitching about the weather outside because it's not hot yet.
It's great for you.
It's great for me, dude. Because when money grows on trees, for me.
Yeah, it's true. Money grows on trees.
I love it because it's it keeps the trees cool. It keeps producing more flower for us. And then the little buds start popping out on the tree. Sounds like I'm a weed farmer, but it's avocados. We use the same terminology.
Well, since we're speaking of weather, what are your thoughts on the farmer's almanac? And weather and trends and everything, and people refer to the farmer's almanac like we're in a drought, but it says we're gonna have rain for years and stuff like that. I mean, do you think is there much truth to that?
Yes and no. I mean, we go into looking at nobody saw all the weather, all the rain that we were going to get here in SoCal this year. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the snowpack and then what's running off into all the water reservoirs on the Colorado River
Powell
and stuff.
and everything.
Don't get me started on Powell, dude. I go to Powell in 2 weeks. I can't wait.
Oh, you're gonna be set.
Yeah.
2 weeks, every launch ramp's open, everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ramps down and everything.
Yeah.
But nobody expected that this year.
No.
But we do expect forest fires and wildfires coming.
Well,
we
had a lot.
I think that's a standard.
Yeah, that's standard. But we had a lot of things growing. Now it's all going to die off in the summer. But now is summer going to last longer now?
Possibly, but I think we're just going to have a mild summer.
That's awesome. I love it. I hope
they're already predicting El Nino coming in again.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so which will be good, which will help kind of keep it. It'll probably be a little bit more humid, but cooler. I mean, right now we should be sitting at 120 degrees outside.
We should be, yeah.
And I think when I got out of the car, it was 72.
It's amazing. It feels good.
I love it. I mean, wearing out sweatshirts this year.
Yeah.
Jeans,
still wearing them.
24/7 jeans.
Yeah, like pants.
I know. I'm hopeful. I'm wearing shorts right now because I'm just hopeful. I'm going to Havasu tomorrow, so I'm all right. I'm trying to get ready for it.
Yeah, but you're going to go out there and still maybe 91.
100
it's
degrees.
supposed to be 100 degrees. Yeah,
I was just there last
tomorrow.
weekend. It was beautiful weather. Yeah. I hit Palm Springs. It was windy, and then I got right through the windmills.
Oh, dude,
and it was just shit weather.
It's insane how you're coming down. Except coming down the pass too. I go the 15 to the 40. Coming down the pass, you hit the pass, all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah,
just clouds.
Yeah, same with coming out that way. Yeah, it's always right there, like at I don't know, Whitewater.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Whitewater.
If you see clouds, like when you're coming down the grade, it's just going to be a nightmare getting through there. It's going to be blown out.
And there's been like that all week here, but I mean that's good for me though. It's good for the avocados. It's good for the harvesting crews, so they don't get heat exhaustion.
It's really good for all of us, man.
Yeah,
it is good for all. We need it.
So going back to you mentioned like Colombia, Mexico, everything. I mean, when I think of all those places, you think of a lot of you think of like Narcos or fucking
Narcos.
Yeah,
you can say the C word. You can say cartel.
Cocaine dealers and fucking, and then all the and then the no, shit, I'm drawing a blank. Not the mafia, the cartels.
Yeah.
And then do they have an effect on your guys' business going through? I mean, do they make it difficult to produce and survive in those climates?
They do. It's more of, and I got to be careful with what I say, but being a U.S. company, we can't support any of that stuff. There was a lot of things that were going on a couple of years ago when avocados were like $100 a box. I mean, a truckload was costing $200,000.
Oh my God.
I mean, if you look at that comparison, I was selling like a low grade Ferrari every single day. When you look at it.
Were you making a lot more money back then though from it?
To an extent, it kind of rises and falls with the field costs and things like that. But we were making good money, making good margins, but it just, you had to watch your insurance and everything like that. But, so a lot of like 2 years ago that was going on. There was some threats that the cartel had made against some USDA inspectors, because within every packing house for the fruit to come to the United States, it has to be US certified fruit. I mean, free of pest, free of, any kind of
crazy sprays,
stuff, meet U.S. grade #1, things like that.
Yeah.
And so we have inspectors that inspect the fruit when it comes in out of the field. And then we also have inspectors in the field. So,
Damn, every day? Are they out there inspecting every day?
Every day. So, they're constantly crossing paths with these guys.
I'm sure.
And then one guy got caught up on accident and there were some threats made to them. So then what the USDA is just pulled everybody out of all of their packing houses and field and said, nope.
We're not taking any of your stuff.
Shut it down.
And then, your distribution path just paused,
just
right?
stop. It just literally just stops.
Oh. What's your percentage coming from Mexico?
Well, for the U.S., it's about right now, it's probably about 90% of the U.S.
No,
volume.
what a disaster
That's
you have
insane.
to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, we have to divert this, but then we have to divert it like overnight. Like you got to make a decision fast, or you.
Yeah. So at any given time, we try and keep 2 country of origins running. California and Mexico, or have Peru coming in, or Colombia, or Chile, or things like that.
That's crazy.
But sometimes it happens where you're just solely on Mexican fruit because California is not in season. Mexico produces year round. California one time, Colombia twice, Peruvian once.
Wow.
So you really got to watch those things. So like stuff like that's happened in the past. With USDA inspectors. I mean, there's so many documentaries out. There's one out called like the Blood Avocado. Blood diamonds with blood avocados.
Really?
You'll see our logos in there too. It just somebody grabbed it, threw them on a bin.
Just
and
talking crap.
Yeah, and it's it's one person's perspective of it. But I mean, I've been down there. I haven't been down in a while. It just doesn't. It doesn't benefit me to go down too often because it takes away from my sales team.
And then you have people down there though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So with West Pak total down there, I think we have about, depending on the time of season, 500 to 600 employees down there.
Oh my gosh.
In California.
How many American employees down there?
They go back and forth.
Yeah, okay.
So like our CEO goes down there. Our vice president of operations and sourcing are constantly down there.
Yeah.
If I go down there, it just takes away from my time to sell to customers and be with my sales team. I've got a bitchin' sales team on board right now.
So cool.
I got this guy up in Oxnard, unbelievable. His name's Kyle. This new guy, Joe.
Good job, Kyle.
Yeah, good job. This new guy,
Shout
Joe. I mean, he's an older fellow, but I mean, the guy knows his shit, so he's good.
So cool.
And then we just hired these 2 new girls, Leslie and Jen, and they're top-notch women that know what they're doing in produce and have been around produce for a while. So.
That's huge, man. And you guys sell to Albertsons, you guys sell to Vons, you guys sell all those places?
Yep. So
go to the list. I mean, you've eaten
Costco,
his avocados many times.
Everything here in, I know it's kind of like a taboo word right now, but everything in Target is my stuff.
Cool.
I love Target. They're a great company.
Yeah.
I know they've made some different decisions
yeah.
lately,
Yeah.
but that's, on
It is
them.
what it is. Yeah,
They're not the only one.
Yeah. But like Walmart, Target, Costco, Sam's Club. We used to be in Sprouts a lot. Most all Kroger divisions were in.
That's awesome.
Del Taco.
Yep. So
Really?
Del Taco.
Hell yeah.
Wabu, I think, or Waba.
I'm working on Waba Grill. Waba
Nice.
Grill,
Okay.
if you're listening.
Come on.
They will be listening. We have so many listeners.
Cafe Rio.
Dude,
that's a good account of
awesome.
mine. I love the Cafe Rio group.
Yeah.
Qdoba, same thing.
I wish there was a Qdoba around here, man.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a Chipotle, but it's better. I love Qdoba.
I mean, you kind of like if you were to compare them, and I hope they're not listening, but like Qdoba, Chipotle, Cafe Rio, they all kind of do the same thing.
Same
They
styles.
just have different flavors and things like that. But
All right, like a flame broiler, Waba Grill.
Listen,
same
it's
type of shit.
easy
very
as
similar. Yeah.
Qdoba has limes, and I love limes for all my Mexican food. So and a lot, they don't usually
I'm
Chipotle
not a
doesn't
big
have
fan
limes.
of lime on my Mexican food too much. I'd rather just throw a shit ton of salsa on it and skip the
I'm
lime.
all about limes, man. man. I like my guacamole. I should limey too.
Oh well, no, you have to put the lime in.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
got to be. I
guacamole.
love it.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Del Taco. That's a good one. And then Flame Broiler, we do Flame Broiler as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice, awesome.
So
Dude, that's rad.
Well, because I remember, like, you know,
massive.
Flame Broiler, sometimes we go through diets, sometimes. And obviously not right now.
you still do keto at Flame Broiler.
Yeah, right? But you would go there, and I remember when they started offering avocado.
Yeah.
And so that was something that you pushed and made happen, right?
Yeah, we are the sole supplier to Flame Broiler.
That is
It's
awesome.
a contract we've had for the last couple of years, and we rebid it every quarter. Things
Every
like that.
quarter you have to bid that? Mm-hmm. Damn, it's not even yearly?
No,
I'm
That's
sure they
massive.
try to probably lock it in yearly, but
No, actually, it's,
Or because they go up,
I
so it-
frown upon yearly long contracts.
Really?
I don't usually like to go longer than like a month.
I
Well,
guess
because it's
because
difficult,
yours
too, for you.
yours changes all the time.
Oh
prices.
yeah. Well, just in the last 2 days, we were talking about it earlier. The market's jumped up $7 a box. I mean, it's right now a full truckload of avocados is looking at it, depending on the size. It's running about probably $65,000 right now for a full truckload of avocados. 1,600 cases at 25 pounds a case. It's just.
But it's always costing you almost the same, right? You're pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
you're-
very,
it's
very
always-
thin margins.
You have
very
thin
thin
margins, so it's
margins.
always costing
Yeah.
the same.
But your physical cost and fixed cost usually is pretty close. I mean, other than like everything sprouts, you got to throw more manpower at it. But I mean, is it predictable? Like you kind of have a window, like, hey, this is where we're going to be putting a lot of effort into, pulling it and.
So every major holiday, about a week before, it picks up.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Everyone's making guacamole, man.
Retailers are running ads, wanting to do guacamole,
Yeah.
Anything around a holiday where people might go eat out,
Yeah.
at a
that
restaurant,
makes sense.
that'll pick up, one thing I've always encouraged is for young people is that if they're looking for a different industry to get into food, get into produce. And produce does not really follow recessions.
It doesn't.
Because they're always selling.
Always selling.
Yeah.
So like when we go into a recession, people aren't going to go to the restaurants, but they're going to buy stuff
And make it at home.
at a home. So your retail picks up. Now, when they have more expendable income and money, they're going to go out. So food service picks up.
So either way, it's selling.
Yeah.
I mean, I never would have thought that too, but I mean, that's great advice.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you think about it, I mean, it's recession proof.
Yeah.
You're always going
to an extent,
eat it. It's
depending on the commodity you're in,
And the best part is like, not like, Gibson exhaust a lifetime warranty. You buy this thing and you need another
And you
one
buy
the
another
next
one.
day.
Yeah, you do.
Right?
Yeah, it is. And
true.
then,
You
like,
always buy more.
retailers, if you're having an issue with their fruit, they'll usually take it back, and let us know if there's an issue that they're seeing widespread, or it could just be somebody that's just complaining.
I guess that was my next question. I know guys at Imperial Valley, they do broccoli. And like every once in a while they'll have a bad batch. They got to rip all of it up, throw it all away, replant, do it again. Do you guys have bad batches?
Yeah, so like a couple of years ago when we had those really bad fires.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, we had the really bad cold weather and freezes.
Oh, yeah. I
Remember all that? And we had the snow,
Yeah.
you could almost go snowboarding in Fallbrook.
Yeah.
So like really cold weather is not good for avocados. And you could almost see when at the time you could drive down the 15 freeway and you could see where the frost line stopped. You would just see all brown, crisp, burnt trees in essence, and then green above that.
Wow.
So at that point, when we would harvest below that frost line level, every avocado was bad.
That hurts.
I think we probably threw away 50 to 60% of the California avocados that year. It was gnarly bad.
Wow.
So, and then growers would actually still have to pay for the harvesting cost of that because
Yeah.
you can't just say, well, I
Still
threw
gotta
them away.
harvest
I'm
it.
not going to pay you.
Yeah.
So they still had to pay the harvesting cost and packing for us to go through it and figure out what was bad. So, I mean, that's an
Do
example.
you have insurance or something like that? Mm-hmm. Oh, you do have insurance. Okay.
A lot of California growers have crop insurance.
Yeah.
Whereas something like that happens, or like when we had those fires,
I'm
and
sure
a lot
that's
of
hundreds of millions of dollars or millions of dollars.
Well, I mean, so
That's
they probably have
insane.
all the, product liability, everyone. Someone
Yeah.
choking on a seed for some reason,
I hope that never happens, but no, because you're not supposed to eat the outside, and it's part of the clean dozen, so they're super.
Yeah,
clean
but it doesn't
fruit.
tell me on here I'm not supposed to eat the outside.
Or don't eat the sticker. Yeah.
Don't eat the sticker. Yeah, I'm not supposed to eat
great.
the sticker.
Here we go. Now we're gonna have a McDonald's issue on our hand. Hot coffee.
Hot coffee. Yeah.
So, when we come back from like Havasu and a few other places, they have like the fruit inspection stands. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Why?
Is it illegal for me to bring an avocado in from Arizona into California?
No, not at all.
Like, what are they checking for?
Honest, the only time I've ever been stopped at any of those stands is like, they're checking for contraband.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, you see, there's one from Vegas, and then the one right there, you know, outside of Parker.
Yeah.
Do you have any fruit or anything with you?
Did you pull your boat plug?
No, no, I don't have
Did you
anything.
say boat plug or some other plug?
Boat plug.
Avocado.
Yeah, I mean avocado.
No, so like the story, I got a story behind that one. So, you know, they're looking for drugs, things like that, you know. So there was one time I had a truckload going from our distribution center in Dallas and heading up to like Chicago. And there's a couple, you know, those border stops that they got to go through and check everything.
Yeah.
And I had heard that one of my loads got flagged for, I think it was going up for like to Trader Joe's or something like that. And when it was heading up that way, I heard it got stopped. So I called the DPS location and I said, hey, I need those avocados. They're a perishable commodity. I need to get it rolling. You guys didn't give me any background behind it. You haven't sent me anything, you know, get it out.
Yeah, what do I got to do?
And I go, I own all those avocados. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, what's your name? Give me all your information. Start taking it down. And then
He's like, sir, put your hands behind your back.
pretty much like over the phone. And
What?
it's like, and so I'm like, I go, what's going on? I go, those are my avocados. I own that. I own that truck. It's one of my own trucks that we run. And I go, I got to get them rolling. I go, and he goes, all right. He goes, you own all the people in it too?
What?
And I go, what are you referring to? And he goes, yeah. He goes, well, if you're telling me you own everything on that truck, he goes, then you're smuggling people.
You're like,
And I go, what are you talking about?
sorry.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, so when we got it in, we put it in for intensive inspection, did an x-ray on the box, you know? And he said, you probably had about 25 people sitting on top of the avocados going from Texas up to Chicago.
No way.
So they were illegals that had come across. The driver was trying to make a little extra money and transport the people. And so they were all sitting on top of the pallets.
That is so funny because that was going to be my next question. So we watched, you know, the movie Meet the Millers, I think it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
where they drive
we're the
across down
Millers.
the border and stuff. And I was like, and when they come across the border, you know, like they're going to get busted with all the weed in there. But then the people jump out from underneath the motorhome and run off. And they're like, sorry, sir, send them on the way. I'm like, do you ever have that issue where people are like
there you go.
jumping in,
That's it.
trying to hitch a ride or throw stuff in along the way?
So now what's even crazier about that story is that avocados have to run refrigerated.
Really?
Oh, so it's cold in there.
38 to 40 degrees, continuous.
Oh.
It doesn't go up like to 60 and then drop back down. No, it stays at 38, 40 degrees.
No way.
And the ride from Dallas, you don't open the doors. The doors are locked on the back. You know,
They're
there's
locked until they get
there's
to-
a seal. They're locked until you get to there. So and that's like a 3-4 day ride. Wow. So these people
Holy
were stuck
crap.
in there.
And they
at
literally probably just
38
have like
degrees.
a simple blanket. They don't have probably proper clothing.
You know, where they go into the bathroom. You know, what are they
all
doing?
over your avocados.
Yeah, pretty much. So then, you know, the truck got held. We ended up
Some of them
having,
probably look like that.
so we ended up something like that happens. We just dispose of the avocados. We don't sell them. We actually, you know, destroy them.
Take the hit on it.
Send it back to the families
Well,
that were
actually,
trying
the
to hitch a
carrier
ride.
takes a hit on it.
Oh.
Because that's where they
Yeah,
have
that's true, yeah.
insurance. And
Yeah.
they go, well, you did this, da, da, da. Yeah.
Dude, so did you guys get in trouble at all, like for that?
No, he knew. He was just giving me a hard time. But he knows I didn't have anything to do with it. And
That's
he could see the
insane.
path of the truck because we track everything real time.
For sure.
You can see where it went.
have to.
Like, why is it stopped here for this long?
Yeah.
Well, and all these probably steps that you have in place and these safety measures have probably been created from learning the hard way over the years.
No, I mean, I've had drug paraphernalia on trucks. I've had drivers get pulled over and held at gunpoint and like, follow me to this area. And then you can see they move like 3 pallets and go right to a pallet. And I'm like,
they know exactly
And
what's
I
in
go,
there.
how did that even get on the load? Because that stuff was sitting in my warehouse. And did it come up from Mexico? Did it make it through? And
Yeah, I'll
it's
say,
just like,
does it like come from Mexico at that point? You don't know.
It's so hard to tell.
and so you own all the trucks that are coming from Mexico across the border?
No. So we contract third party.
Okay.
It's probably easier, huh? Cheaper?
Well, it's just less risky for you.
Less risk and
Yeah.
to run your own transportation company. I
Yeah.
mean, right now I spend close to about $20 million in just moving avocados a year around the country, just in the United States. Fuck. Yeah.
But that's not including your ships you're bringing over from Colombia or anything like that.
No, usually the Colombians and the Peruvians, they'll pay for that stuff.
Really?
And then once
That's
it
on
gets
their
to port and it makes good arrival, we take it
Then
from
you
there.
take from there.
Yeah. Yeah. At any given time, I probably have about 200 trucks of avocados running around the United States on any given day.
That's incredible.
Going to customers, picking up, things like that.
And here I complain about my responsibilities. Jeez.
Yeah, I got a great logistics team behind that.
that's
I got
a
4
team right
people
there.
behind that take care of that and book
That's
the
incredible.
trucks.
You have 4 people taking care of 200 trucks moving all the way
day.
around a day.
A day, yeah.
A day. That's mind blowing.
I mean, the odds for something to happen are so high.
Oh, yeah.
dude, from accidents to whatever.
There was one on the
Getting
news
held
where
up.
it flipped over and it caught on fire and then all like the avocados just melted all over the freeway and
Insurance.
Oh yeah, insurance, and then you make the news and you see your box, and it's just
You're like, damn it.
hey, make guacamole on that, and it happens like right before Super Bowl, so it's just
Oh my god.
you know, you get the guerrilla marketing with your label.
Hey, that worked out great.
Oh yeah,
You're like, weird. It happens every
There's a
year for
helicopter
some
flying
reason.
above, West Pak everywhere.
it's fun. You know, you can deal with that. Back in the day, I haven't always been in sales. So when I started, I actually started out in the packing house packing avocados.
Okay.
And then I got bored
in
with
Fallbrook area?
Temecula.
Temecula,
So
all
we
right.
moved from Fallbrook to Temecula, and I started out there right out of high school. I've been working for 20 years with them. But the fun one is I actually got my commercial driver's license and drove a semi truck for them.
Nice.
And a boom truck into the fields. And there was one day that we had a truck getting on the on-ramp, just going way too fast with a load for Costco and flipped over. Avocados went all over the freeway. And so they're like, oh, we need to get this picked up. So I grabbed a bunch of our empty bins and threw them on my boom truck and drove over. And the cops were like, well, you got to get on the freeway. So I'm driving like backwards down the on-ramp, going across the center median.
No way.
They're
All right there on the
stopping
15
traffic.
freeway in Temecula.
And so like I've got like a harvesting crew with me driving their van down.
Pick
And
'em
we're
up.
Picking them all up, throwing them in bins. I'm loading them on the truck in the middle of the 15 freeway. And he's like, oh, you got to get out of here. So I'm driving back up the other way on the on-ramp through traffic. And
That's awesome.
yeah, it's
Did you get to throw them
I
away
mean,
though?
it's
no, because I mean they were
still
still in
okay.
the boxes, so
Yeah.
then we're just putting them back into
Nice.
our bins that we have.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean that was years ago. We were able
You're
to
able to save them
salvage
though.
it.
Yeah.
but-
That's so crazy.
Well, it just
though.
kind of goes like those are the we have so many stories. What was it? What was his name talking about? Type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun.
Like type 2 fun. It's where like in the moment it's
You're
hard to
stressful.
recognize like what you're in because it's so stressful or you're scared or you're nervous or wherever. You're just it's a very heightened moment. And then when you're all said and done, the relief like, oh my God, that was awesome. And it becomes those stories that just, you know, the grandpa stories, you know,
Yeah.
the stories that live forever. Like
Like you're talking about like Baja 1000. You're in the middle of Baja 1000, middle of the night. You're miserable. You have a headache. You got to take a piss. You got to do this. You got to do that. And like, why am I doing this? But at the end, when you're at the podium, you're like, that was so sick.
Yeah.
Or when
we've,
you're home,
we've
you're like-
actually raced the 1000.
Yeah. You know that feeling. Like
We did it from Ensenada to La Paz.
Oh, you did the
big
Peninsula
one.
run.
The,
Yeah.
the rip to tip.
Yep.
We did it in trophy truck class, and we started out 33rd, finished 10th overall.
Dude, that's amazing. That's huge.
finishing is a massive accomplishment.
Oh, like
What year was that?
God, that was back at I think 14 or 15.
Sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
I was co-piloting for my buddy Dave, Dave Kleiman, and that's really
Dude, Climans are awesome. They have avocados, don't they?
yeah. I harvest his avocados.
Do you? Nice.
Yeah, but he's the one who taught me everything about off-roading when it comes to driving trophy trucks,
such
things
good
like
people,
that.
man.
And it just racing with him down the Baja Peninsula and just doing that, it's just I think I was in the truck for 800 miles for the first stint with him, and then we got out, and then we did another 250 miles after we got back in.
So insane.
It's
it
a
was
long
like
time.
14 hours of racing just in a 26-hour period.
Dude, it's so much.
But I mean, we've got stories behind that, just everything that's gone on. I mean, we had a buddy who he passed out at one of the strip clubs in Ensenada, and just like we found him the next day.
God.
He was on the
That's a
ring.
story
He was
for
on the
another
ring,
time.
on the ring, swinging from corner to corner.
But I mean, the avocado thing has gotten me where I am today, to enjoy the finer things in life and, racing,
huge.
boats, developing relationships. I'm meeting guys like Sean, through friends of friends.
Yeah.
And, it's really been a really good ride so far. And, I plan to keep it going. It's going to be fun.
That's what it's all about. And then the growth of it. I mean, you've seen the change over the past 20 years of where avocados were 20 years ago, where they are today.
Yeah, I think we have probably about another, I'd say probably at a minimum 5, maybe a max of 10 before it becomes more commoditized, kind of like bananas. Bananas,
Really?
there's just a shit ton of bananas.
Yeah.
A ton. And it's like you set year-long contracts for that.
So it's just like a set price. It is what it is.
Yeah, and a lot of the big growers for bananas hold a lot of the acreage, and control supply. So it just,
Is that your goal?
No, we don't want it
Okay.
to be like that.
Yeah.
If I were to describe selling avocados, it's more like day trading. The market just moves. One day it could be on fire. One day it could just be
Trash.
dead in the dumps,
Yeah.
like it has been for. And then you get these moments where it just picks up, and you're just like, you could be locked in on a price for
That's
1-2
gotta be the
weeks
best feeling,
out.
though, man.
It is, but you could get caught
Also
in
scary.
a world of hurt.
Yeah.
And dollar-wise, it's just like you could at times be losing $10, $20 a box where you're not even covering costs to keep the lights on.
That sucks. Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, it's a business, no matter how you look at it.
I guess you just got to almost save in those good times and make sure that it's covered for the bad times.
Yeah. Well, we look at it as it's a 52-week program. You know, we can't just look at what's going on now.
No.
And we got to, you know, I'm more of a guy that's going to sit back and let things unfold. I don't panic too much about it. And I'll let inventories ride, see where they're going to go, you know, see what customers are going to do before I'm not very knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
I want to let it ride out a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Now, do you have any employees that have been with you guys since day one that have worked all the way up through, or?
yeah, no, we've got some, you know, lifers with us that have been with us. We've been in business for a little over 40 years now. And we've had guys that started with us, you know, right out of high school, right out of college, you know, just stopping in, and they've still been with us to today.
That is awesome.
Now, I don't imagine like your competitors or, you know, you said Mission is one of the top ones, really has, like, obviously you guys are a corporate business, but you're still driven by family and values and passion. I mean, do you see like some of them still having that, or is it very corporate as you climb up and it's more of a numbers game?
So like Mission is a publicly traded company.
Okay, yeah.
So they are going to be kind of very corporate. Their dynamics, they just went public a couple of years ago.
Numbers.
They've changed, you know, so then you gotta more take care of your, you know, your share owners. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Us, we're privately owned, so we can make a decision a lot faster. We can move on programs a lot quicker. We can partner with people differently and do things.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, our family values have changed, or not family values. Our core values have changed for the company over the years, just in the fact that, you know, we are becoming a bigger company. We're a bigger, smaller company. I'd say probably in the next, you know, 5 to 8 years, maybe a little bit less than that, we'll probably be about $1 billion company. Wow. So we've really just stepped it up over
75-cent avocados. That's so insane.
But I mean, that's all growth and how you take care of your customers and the relationships that you have.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're breaking into new markets and, you know, going into different markets in different countries, Canada, Japan, Dubai, China, Europe, you know, all of those different places that we ship to. And it's just trying to continue to expand and grow.
Well, it's like my son, you know, he's in summer break right now. He's talking about trying to do some things, detailing cars or cleaning pools or trying to start his own little business or something. He's like, well, how do I get customers? I'm like, well, first off, you just get one.
Yep.
And you do the best job you can.
Because
word of mouth
turns into
is
two.
everything.
Yep.
And just keep doing the best job that you can. And that's obviously what you guys have done. It's amazing.
Yeah. We don't go out there and bang our chest. We're not a, you know, a brand that you're going to see or know. Like if I say the word Cuties,
Yeah.
you think of the little oranges.
Yeah, oranges, yeah.
Okay. Cuties is a very similar company to like what we do, but they've gone to more of the branding to the consumer.
Yeah.
I'm not branding to the consumer.
You're selling to the stores.
I'm selling to the stores. You know, I don't want to be that brand. I don't want to be the Chevy out to the consumer.
It's pretty amazing though, how
that's
they made
B2B
such
then.
a smaller orange taste so much better than a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are delicious. But they're so hit or miss though too. Like
They are.
some are so much better than the others. It's so wild.
Oh yeah,
They're always hit or miss.
And that's the thing is, my personal experience with avocados and any other produce is there's a good time for every country of origin.
That's true. That makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the questions that I get asked to is like, "What's the best avocado?" And I go, "Well," and personally, my own opinion is that there is no best avocado.
Yeah.
California at the beginning of the season will taste like trash. It'll just taste like a pumpkin because doesn't have enough oil content in it yet.
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes where you'll eat one and you'll cut it and you'll be like, "Oh my god, like this is too powerful in taste. Has too much oil in it." You know, too much dry matter, things like that. So depending on the time of season, you know.
And what country you're in.
You know, they all have a good time to eat. Like right now, California's great.
It's the best time for California
Yeah.
now.
Mexico, you could probably say.
These are California?
Those are California. Those will ripen up in a couple days. Yes. Now, like Mexico, you were coming to the end of one of their crops that, you know, it has very high oil content. So it could be almost too rancid at times, or it ripens too quick, or that's where I just bought it yesterday at the store and it's already black inside. You know,
You don't know at that point.
Did you have a lot to do with this whole avocado toast thing? I mean, who would have ever have thought putting avocado on toast
Right?
would be good? Now everybody eats it.
I love it. They pay $8 a
They
piece
do.
of toast
It's
for it.
insane,
you know?
man.
Gotta love millennials. You know?
Yeah, my millennials. They're going to take 75-cent avocado, put it on toast.
Okay,
It's
so what's a
$10.
proper way? We buy these things at the store. Maybe a little squishy, maybe a little.
I was just going to
firm.
ask this. How do you ripe them up?
Or
you
no,
know?
what's the best way to make them last? Is it in the refrigerator or is it on the counter?
It all depends on what you're trying to accomplish.
Length.
Length? Well, that's kind of a personal thing. Just joking.
Pills for that.
So
a little short in that area.
What I always try and educate is color is not always a sign of ripeness. So like these two are very same in the same ripeness. This one's green. This one's a little bit darker.
Yeah.
So color is not a sign of ripeness. Now it can be depending on what country of origin you're in or, how it's reacting, but it's more of like what we call, like the Charmin test, Charmin toilet paper where you see the bear pushing on its soft. It's a Charmin test. You got to feel it. If the stem comes out easy, which these don't.
Yeah. Not ready yet.
It's definitely ripe.
Yeah. Well, it's not ripe yet. You can't even get it out.
Yeah.
But,
that makes sense. So if that does pop out easy, then it's ready to go inside pretty much.
Not ready to go, but it's very close within a couple days.
Yeah.
A day or two. That's how you can tell kind of being a consumer at home. Feeling it, buying it at the right stores.
Yeah.
If you're local here, Stater Brothers always has a really good ripe program.
Dude, Stater Brothers is the best meat too.
I go to Stater Brothers all the time. It's a little more expensive, but you can go there only for meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stater Brothers has a good ripe program. We do a lot of their avocados for them. They also use other suppliers, but we ripen for them as well.
So you let them sit in one of your warehouses somewhere in a ripening program.
Yeah.
What does that entail though? Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, no, it's we all kind of do about the same thing, but it's new technology that's come in. But we put them into our pre-ripening rooms, where we introduced humidity, warmer temperatures, and ethylene gas, because avocados are natural ethylene producers.
Really?
Yeah. So this goes back to how do you keep them? If you always hear somebody say, "Hey, put them in a paper bag and put them in your cover."
That, yeah.
So what, in essence, you're doing is you're taking a paper bag that doesn't breathe. You're putting the avocados in there,
and the gases are coming out of this and staying in there,
and staying with the other ones, causing them to ripen faster.
Really?
So you'll see all these like crazy things where they say put them in a bin of flour and cover it with flour. All you're doing is you're keeping the ethylene a lot closer to the avocado.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it's creating a warm atmosphere.
What if I put in my refrigerator?
So you can, if you want them to last longer.
Okay.
Uncut, you just throw them in your refrigerator. You don't want to really be any colder than 38 degrees. So if you're keeping your refrigerator, you could have a little bit of damage there. But even though they just cut brown, you
just eat around the brown, or even sometimes brown still tastes good too.
Yeah, it does. And all it is just the pulp oxidizing.
Okay.
That's all it is.
So brown isn't bad. It's just
doesn't mean it's rotten. Now,
they
if
always
it's
tell you
black
keep-
and
put
it's
the-
pitted, yeah, it's probably rotten. But
okay.
don't eat.
Don't eat that point, yeah.
Or
mix it up more.
Yeah,
lose some weight
they don't
before
see
the
it.
weekend. Yeah.
So they always say that if you cut it in half, keep the seed inside, right?
So that's kind of like, I think that was on Mythbusters,
Did they?
Myth or fact or something like that. But putting the seed, I still throw the seeds in my guacamole.
So do I. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because I've always been told it keeps the avocados, the guacamole, fresher.
Yeah.
But more of what it is, if you want your guacamole to stay fresher, add a little bit of like lemon or lime, the citric acid, that'll help. Also, if you're going to let it sit for a while, just take like cellophane wrap and push it down.
Yeah, so this takes the air out of it.
You're taking the oxygen away from
Really?
it. So when I say fruit's oxidizing, so same thing. If you take a half-cut avocado and throw it in your fridge, it's going to oxidize. Take it, put some cellophane wrap around it, so you can't get to it. It'll stay greener. It will.
Yeah, I do that all the time. That's why you just press it in, make sure there's no air in there, and you're good to go.
And you're good to go.
So what's your guacamole recipe? Or can you not say that?
So it's one I've gotten from my mom.
Take notes.
It's transpired over the year, and I've
text
kind
me.
of, made it into my own. But we use like Lowry's hot sauce,
Okay.
the red and green, the hot stuff.
Yeah.
Put that in there. Obviously, chop up the guacamole, the avocados, garlic salt, pepper. I like to use onion salt. I'll even chop up like a serrano chili, throw it in there.
Nice.
I stay away from the onions and tomatoes because it's just like I'm not an onion tomato fan.
Okay.
I don't really care for them.
Yeah.
Some people like that, but I like mine a little bit spicier. My mom doesn't do the serrano chili or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple other little things in there too that we use here and there, but
I'm starving.
it just kind of tweaks it.
Yeah.
You
kind of put your own little heart into it, right? Your little things.
But nobody's complained about it, and everybody says good. So
that's all that matters then.
So there's this little barcode on here. I'm assuming you can scan this one right here with something, and it'll tell you exactly where it came from, and it's pretty much its path to your hands, right?
Not so much. Produce isn't on that level yet to be able to do track and trace to the avocado. Now, what that code is on the sticker is more of just UPC for the store, where if individuals, they could scan it across theirs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Some of these you won't even see them. Like the bags usually for Costco won't have this on there.
Yeah.
And like at Target or things like that. Reason being is they don't want to scan this across their thing, and they want to scan the bag barcode and not this.
Well, and you have
But
these
it does-
stupid self-checkouts now where
I
like they
know.
don't have the scanner on it.
No, you got to
sit there,
go through and find it.
select, and
Yeah.
Yep.
So Target's,
cool. This
Target's
one-
kind of lagging behind that. I'm trying to get them to scan this so that they
Smart.
stop losing money.
Yeah.
But
Good
like,
so
that you can
House
scan.
Avocados, 6 count with a number. What's that number?
Let me see the number.
This number right there.
So the lot number. So that's where more of like where you go. Like if you ever have an issue or like the store ever has an issue, that's considered their PTI label, the Produce Traceability Initiative.
Okay.
Cool.
With that, I can actually track it back to
Where
it came from, what groves, who touched it in my packing house.
That's awesome.
What trucks carried it, what boom truck drivers carried it.
So you kind of have a pack and track system yourself, though.
Yeah, and the industry standard is you have to be able to do that like within an hour if somebody calls you for food safety traceability.
That makes sense. So yeah, because then if you have 1,000 of these bags came from the same lot, you're like, oh shit, where do they all go?
And that's the thing is like you could have a big grower. You could send me 2 bins of avocados and I'll pack those. And Sean could send me 20 bins in one day.
Yeah.
Now I could get to the end of his bins and I go, well, I got to finish out the pallet. So then I'll start yours. So on one pallet, you could have multiple growers in the store. So like when you go to Costco and you see that giant
it's huge
pallet of bags and everything like that, we try and keep them all kind of centralized, minimum.
So
like
most of these came from this area.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But I can see that and know where they go, who got what.
Wow.
Because like, avocados, there's, let's see, 84s, 70s, 60s, 48s, 40s, 36s, 32s. Standard, there's 7 number 1 sizes. And on number 2s, there's standard 7 more. Number 2 quality.
Really?
Yeah. So a grower does not produce all the same size.
Really?
So I'll get super tiny stuff and super big stuff and everything
crazy.
in between. Like right there, like these are standard size 48.
Solid.
Yeah. I mean, this is
So this is a 48. So this is
right
right in the middle of the curve.
those monsters. You're like,
You have
whoa.
seen those ones. They're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And then you eat half of it, and then the rest goes to bad because you can't get back around so much.
I get send you some big bad mama gemmas. So it's like, in a standard box is 25 pounds of fruit. And
So it doesn't matter how many there are in there as long as 25 pounds.
Right.
So if they're big ones, it's going to be way less.
transition learning time. Okay. So you have a standard box of avocados, 25 pounds. In that box, on a 48 size, you can put 48 pieces in that box.
Okay.
So on an 84, it's super tiny fruit. I can put 84 pieces in that box.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I will go all the way up to a size 14, 16 at times. So in that box, 25 pounds of fruit, there's only 14 pieces in there.
Oh, my gosh. Those are
So
huge.
you're talking like 2-pound avocados.
I mean,
They had those big ones?
oh yeah. Yeah. The variety's called a lamb hass.
Where do they come from?
California here.
where do you buy those at?
So
Yeah,
it's
those like specialty
more
places?
Specialty stores will carry those
Like
at
the
times.
big and tall store?
Yeah.
Big and tall.
Like Barron's might, Target might carry them this year. Sprouts sometimes used to
Dude,
carry them
that's
in the
sick.
past.
I buy them just
So what's the
cool.
biggest avocado you've seen?
Probably a 14.
14 pound.
No.
No, 14 and
size.
125 pounds. So that's like over 2 pounds a piece, though.
Yeah. Pretty
2.5-ish?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a cool novelty gift that
So how much does this weigh, you think?
This is going to be probably about, 7 ounces, 7.5 ounces.
So
this
it's
is a 48.
four of these, though,
Yeah.
pretty much to one of those.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pretty much. Like,
That's a big ass.
And then some.
And then
probably
some,
add
yeah.
another one.
So 5.
Yeah.
That's massive.
When those come into season, they'll probably be here in the next month or two. I'll get you guys
yeah,
a box.
that's cool.
And you're going to go, holy shit.
Right? What do I do with all
We only got
these?
14 this time. But
Taco night.
yeah.
Exactly.
You better make like a dozen tacos though.
Yeah, you need a lot of tacos for that.
Wow.
Dude, so you guys have different recipes on the back here.
Yep. So those are Costco's recipes.
Oh, are they nice? Mango guacamole.
We have our own different kind of bag formats too. Proprietary bag.
So these ones
films.
are for Costco, though. These are what?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you guys produce all the bags, too?
Yep. We do bags in house.
Nice.
We do different kind of pack styles. We'll do ones that are called flats that are a little bit smaller. We do little tiny ones that are gift boxes.
That's cool.
We do what is also called an RPC, which is a reusable packaging container. It's plastic, so that
Easier
Reduce
back up.
waste, everything.
Reduce waste, yep.
Easier on the environment.
Yep, make our footprint a little bit smaller.
So you have kids. Would you, are you looking forward to your children getting involved with the business? Would you advise them to, or advise them to go a different route, or?
I want my kids to do whatever's going to make them happy. Right now my son's 8. He wants to own an ice cream truck.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's rad.
And you'd be right there in a heartbeat to get them a damn ice cream truck.
Hell yeah. And maybe I'll sling avocados out of the side of it.
Heck yeah.
Totally should.
He'll make avocado trucks.
I don't know if my son would want to do it, but I could see my daughter, who's 5, she's just a spitfire and I could see her wanting to do it. But, whatever makes them happy. But it just, if they want to go the route of being an off-road racer or, build boats or something like that, I'm going to support them in whatever they want.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
I
massive.
mean, they can always fall back on the family business, but at least go follow your passion.
try to do something.
Go try something.
Yeah, see what you like.
Yeah, you have that ability. So was your family always into going to the river, the boats, and off-road, or is that something that you developed on your own growing up in Temecula? Or
So my dad, I'd hate to say it, he's a workaholic.
Okay.
You know, the business would not be where it's at today if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, he made a lot of family sacrifices to be a part of the business. So I spent a lot of the time at the lower river, Quinn, with my mom.
Okay.
You know, she would take me,
Stick
she would
you
take
out
my
there
sister, you know, and I thank the time that I got to spend with my dad, but I got to give it to him is that the company and I would not be where I'm at today because of him.
He sacrificed a lot for it.
Yeah. And everything I've learned is because of him, you know, my business sense, what I like to do, how I like to do things. And, you know, him and I had like, you know, he's getting up there in age. He's, you know, turning 76 this year. But him and I had a heart to heart the other day and he's like, hey, do you ever regret, you know, growing up and the time that we didn't get spent together? And I said, do I wish you were around more to go do the fun things? Yeah, I do. I go, but you know, I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I do now or know what I know now if it wasn't for your sacrifice. So do I regret it? No.
Well, and because he made those sacrifices, you're able to do it with your family now.
Yeah. And he's like, well, he just says, you know, I appreciate how hard you work. He goes, but I just want to make sure you're not like missing the times with Bodie and Piper, my kids. And I said, you know, I'm not. And I said, I've recognized that, you know, back then, we didn't have Zoom. We didn't have GoToMeeting. We didn't have cell phones like we do now. We didn't have Starlink, you know, all this stuff. I go, I've learned that, you know, I'm going to be just as productive out of the office, whether I'm working in the garage in Havasu,
that's cool,
in the man cave there,
yeah,
or I'm sitting behind my desk, or, you know, next week when I go to Powell on the houseboat, I got my Starlink already packed up, ready to go.
You can work.
I'm going to work.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm still going to be there with my kids. We're going to go out on jet skis. We're going to plan to be on the boat by noon. You know,
but you get in the morning, you get your work done, and go out and enjoy life.
I go, but you didn't have those capabilities when you were starting the company. I go, but now we do. And, you know, with millennials this day and age, you learn to adapt with these groups. And by far, you know, I'm not I guess I'm like on the beginning of the millennial side, but I don't consider myself millennial, but I work with a lot of millennials. And I mean, they're probably one of the hardest ones to, you know, learn, you know, their ways. And, you know, they all want to be like buddies and, you know, hang out at work and hang out after work and mess around. And I go, I just want to work and make money.
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, I want to clock out sooner or later.
4 or 5. But see, I don't ever clock out. I go home and I got my cell phone and my laptop up. If somebody needs something, I'm like, I got you. No worries.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be sitting in the office. They want to be in the office. And I'm like, no, this is like.
Not want to be out on them. But you're always working. You're working 24/7. So it's not like, even this morning, it's funny. We woke up and my fiance, she's a teacher. So she goes, you know, gets up. She's teaching summer school. And she's like, get off your phone. I'm like, listen. I'm on my phone all the time because I'm always working. I'm either posting for Gibson or Action Sports Canopies or this and that. Like, I'm always posting something. I'm always working. Like, I'm always on my phone. So it's like, she's like, get off your phone. I'm like, listen, do you want me to work or not want me to work? Because this is what I got to do now.
You're like, and actually, right now, I'm actually just playing on my phone for like 10 minutes, which I don't get to actually do.
Checking Instagram.
I'm actually just, entertaining myself.
Yeah.
That, I mean, cell phones are just...
It's insane.
Well, and most, you know, that's awesome that you brought that up because most people don't really, they see the success, right? And they see the results of hard work. And they don't realize that, I mean, every successful business, there are massive sacrifices made that people aren't making in their normal lives. And every successful person who's worked hard, grown a solid business, at some point has wished they could just have a standard 8 to 5 job, clock in, clock out because of some of those reasons. And it's really a massive trade-off. And that's tough. I was like, this morning, my mom was helping with some things and I was telling her, I'm like, you know, I don't know if I've told you this enough, but one of the only reasons why I'm able to do what I do, be successful in the things that I've done, and my work ethics come from what you taught me and what you showed me. And you created those on your own because you didn't really have anyone to teach you through trial and error. And it was like, thank you. Because my mom's a bit of a fucking workaholic also.
She is, man. Yeah.
You know? And
my mom stopped working, back when my sister was born. But, you know, you think about it, between my wife and my mom and my sister, you know, they're all moms. Their time that they spend at home, like with the kids or trying to just keep us happy.
Yep.
I mean, that's a job in itself. I mean, my wife is amazing. Lindsay, she's just, you know, takes care of me. She runs her own interior design.
Apparently, you're pretty easy to keep happy because we gave you my wife's recipe, and it's the simplest one ever.
I
And
know,
you were pretty
my
stoked
wife
on
has
that.
perfected that. You know, it's like,
I want to hear some of the changes.
oh yeah, no, we did the chilies like you talked about. I added bacon, and it's just like, you know, Charles, who's with us, he's like, hey, give me the recipe. I'm like, nah, sorry. Sean's the only one that said I could have it. You know? So now, like, anywhere we go, I go, hey, you got to get everything to make, you know, Rosie's dip. She's like, okay, you know.
That's awesome.
Rosie got a special dip or what?
Yeah, it's actually.
Can't tell you. You just got to come around.
Yeah, exactly.
I see you invite over next barbecue. I'm coming over.
There we go. Yes, we're having pizza on Sunday. If you want to come by.
All right, perfect. That is amazing.
Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, coming here. I mean, I'm sure we could keep going on and on forever about avocados, but I mean, you kind of take these things for granted because they're just so easily placed at the store and accessible, right? And you don't realize the path.
But that's
that
the point of it. That's marketing right there. You want it easy for people to grab and buy.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to look at a Mission one and yours, could you tell the difference?
No. There's no like, this is a variety of avocados. Like, you know, variety, what I would describe is like, you know, you have like a 2,500 truck, you have a 3,500 truck, you have a 1,500. Okay. You still have Chevy. They're all making kind of like the same thing. Yeah. In essence, and Ford. So this variety is called a Hass variety. Hass avocados make up probably about 90, 95, maybe even more than that of the United States market, or even like the world market of what's there. You have other varieties that don't look like this, that are what are considered a green skin variety.
They're the smoother skinned ones, right?
Zutanos, Fortes, Bacons, Reeds, all those things. Now those ripen up differently. They taste different. They look different. Some look like a giant baseball, softball.
I don't like them as much.
Some are really long neck. Well, they have different flavors, but like very far and few between do you ever see those on a retail shelf or even being served in restaurants, because everybody wants a Hass variety. This is what, you know, consumers have been conditioned to love and like is this variety.
So you say this is 95% of the variety?
It's probably even 98.
Oh, it's even closer. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want that specialty one, where can you go get something like that?
Most of the time it's specialty stores. Okay. Sometimes like Whole Foods would carry
Sprouts
those.
You want to go to a specialty store.
Yeah, you know, but it's more of like the smaller retail. Okay. You know, like Mother's Markets or something like that only has 1 or 2 locations.
Yeah,
they're more accepting those varieties in their stores because it's a quick in, quick out. They don't have to do it across the nation. You know, to change a store shelf or anything like that.
Okay, since you know obviously so much about these, what is the origin of the avocado? Has it been around forever? Is it like a offshoot of another fruit, or?
So the mother hash tree, one of them for like California started, God, where was it? It's just like up north from here. I'm drawing a blank.
So it all kind of started from one tree, you're saying?
And you could actually buy, if you go on California Avocado Commission's website, you could actually buy a sliver of that tree.
Really? The original avocado tree.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, how long do they live for?
Oh, if you take care of them right, God, you know, 50, 60, 70 years. There's trees in Mexico that I've seen on some people's ranches that, like, me and another guy, we like would try and like hold hands and wrap around the trunk.
They're that big.
And you can't even touch each other's hands.
No way.
Yeah.
So
those are really old.
50, 60 feet tall?
Yeah, if you take care of them right, you want to keep them kind of lower, more bushy, so they don't canopy. But I mean, there's some massive ones out here. Now here, you're not going to get stuff that old, because, I mean, you get like 25, 30-year-old trees here. I mean, there's some ranches that probably have older.
They start dying or what?
No, it just
stop producing.
Production isn't as strong.
So if you're not producing a lot, do you pull a tree?
You can. Yeah. You can stump it, and then it'll grow back.
Really? Okay.
You can pull it, plant next to it. You could, if they've gotten too big, you can cut a branch out of them, let more light inside.
Yeah. What's I guess if this is answerable, how many pounds usually come off a tree?
No, it's answerable. If you get a half a bin to a full bin of fruit off of one tree, and a bin is usually around 900 to 1,000 pounds in California.
It's like per year?
No, that's all. Yeah, one harvest. Yeah.
One harvest.
Yeah.
So it's one harvest 1 year then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so you pretty much get one harvest a year.
You'll get like an off bloom that you can do sometimes, but Mexico has 4 blooms on the tree. We're finishing up one crop right now. We're moving what's called the Flora Loca crop. It's a crazy flower. That's how it translates. Okay. And it's kind of the end of their season. It'll run till September. But like in Mexico, we don't harvest in the big bins. We harvest in what's like a tote, and that's comparable to like an old milk crate, but they're
so like
plastic.
Smaller. Okay.
Yeah. And those go in, they harvest them, fill up a truck, they unload them in our warehouse. We dump them on the line, pack them, and then they go back out to the field after they're cleaned.
Dude, that's
this might be an unanswerable question too, but I mean, were cavemen eating avocados back in the day? Were the Greeks and the Romans sitting there slicing off some avocados, or I mean, can they trace it back that far?
I think if you look at it, like if you look at like the origin of the Mexican avocados, you know, there's things out there where it's like they were called like alligator pears or like aguacatos, you know, where it's like you know, that translates to like testicles, you know, testicle fruit.
Yeah.
I think you've read all those, and it was, I think, more around like the Aztecs and things like that. So they've been around a long time in Mexico, you know, but it's just, you know, grown into a mass production across countries.
Avocado pear, that's so crazy. It really legit.
Yeah.
Or not
alligator pear.
Alligator pear. That's so crazy.
I mean, I don't know. It looks like a nut sack to me.
That's what I was trying to get, like a marketing a retailer to pick up is like during like Movember.
Movember.
They do like two together, and you call it like the sack pack.
The sack pack.
But you know, I don't know if the stores would go for that this day and age.
Yeah, that's true, man.
But
what's your favorite avocado pun?
You know, I don't know. It's fun. You know, I said it earlier, but you know, when people talk about money and I say, well, money grows on trees for me.
Avi.
Like literally. It grows on trees, you know. But.
Dude, this is so crazy. So Kleinman's, go back to Kleinman's a little bit. They grow on their own property, right?
Yeah, Dave. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how much did they harvest this year?
God, Dave, I want to say got probably about 10 bins off of his grove this year.
So that's 10,000 pounds?
10,000 pounds, yeah.
That's insane. How many trees do they have?
I think he sits on about, 8 acres of avocados.
Okay, so if I were to go to Temecula and go buy the property I want, big old, you know, piece of property and stuff, am I going to put a vineyard on there or avocado trees?
Oh yeah, what's making more money?
First, I would ask you like location and things like that because weather's going to determine that. If you're down in a cold area, I probably wouldn't do avocados. Mm-hmm. I do citrus or probably grapes.
Okay.
But like, and it depends on what you're going to do with the grapes too.
Hopefully sell them.
But there was a thing going on a while ago where like the water districts were doing what was called a crop swap. And they wanted you to pull out avocados and citrus and plant like grapes.
Because they're taking too much water.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
So like, you know,
speak to Dave about drilling, right? Oh, drilling.
Yeah.
Boss.
So
so Dave, yeah.
Dave was able to drill.
Dave Matthews. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Matthews.
But you know, it all depends on the size of what you're going to do. I want to say to make really kind of decent money, you want to somewhere be around like 15 acres in California. You know, upwards of 20.
That's a pretty large investment in California right now.
Yeah. Finding the right place. But, you know, now 5 acres.
Maybe by the Salton Sea might be worth it, huh?
Too salty. You know, they don't like the
You want salty avocados, yeah.
You don't want salty
just add
water.
pepper. It'd be perfect.
Salt and pepper. They're great for guacamole. So, I forgot to say, damn it. I had a good question, too.
You're racing. I mean, we've spent a bunch of time going over this, but I mean, racing. What made you want to get into racing? What's your? I mean, so you guys have stopped racing since you were racing trophy trucks, racing at the highest level possible. What was your biggest takeaway from racing?
Probably
just fun as shit. Costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it's fun. It costs a lot of money. To me personally, it was a selfish sport, which I enjoyed. You know, I'm not saying I'm a selfish person, but you know, it takes you away. You got to be prepared. It takes you away from your family.
Yeah.
You know, it takes away from your friends.
Yeah.
You know, now if you're an arrive and drive kind of guy, that's different. You know, if you have that financial, I'm more power to you.
Which, you know what? Awesome. He might actually be the smart one too, because he literally just shows up, goes and has fun, no expectations, just go finish, all done, goes back with the family. I mean, that might be the right guy, right? If this is right for me, I don't know.
Yeah. You know, and it just, you know, we were not an arrive and drive team. You know, I had buddies that would help me out. Charles, Brandon, my brother-in-law, Cody, they'd be over, you know, it was like their second job. They'd come over to the house and we'd prep and do everything on the racetrack.
So much work, man.
Oh God, it is. And then you go out there and you race. And then, you know, when we did King of the Hammers, we were, you know, you're gone from the group for, you know, 4 or 5 hours at a time. Yeah. And then they see you for 30 seconds and then you're gone.
You go back out.
And you go back out. And then, you know, you're trying to take care of your sponsors leading up to that and having your truck and being there and saying hi and things, all that. So it's like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I got to go out to the desert and race and be with the family and hang out in the pits. And, you do that for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can't just be out there boozing it up because you got to be ready for the next day. You know,
it's not a party.
It's a job.
It's a job.
in essence, it is. So, you know, and then I saw the kids. I would just take away time from my kids doing sports. You know, my son loves to play soccer, golf. He's into gymnastics too. My daughter wants to do soccer. She's trying to do golf. So it's just like,
Well, let's go play golf. It sounds like you're a golfer too.
oh, I love golf.
I love golf too.
I love golf.
It's literally 4 hours just to get the check out.
Yeah.
Well,
it
5
is.
nowadays. Been taking forever.
You're slow.
I went and golfed with Jesse a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Jesse's a good golfer. I golfed with his cousin.
Aaron?
No, I can't remember his name. Really good golfer guy though. Me and Brandon went, but I mean, we had a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm looking to get back out there with those guys again too. So that'd be fun.
Dude, next year I need both of you guys to go to so we've been filming the past 3 years, the Ashworth Canopies golf tournament at Strawberry Farms. Really cool tournament, man. They raised almost $100,000 this past year for Ronald McDonald House, Orange County.
Oh, nice.
But we should try to get both of you guys out there to sponsor it and get a hole, you know?
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Get a foursome, man. Come out, have fun. And it's a great cause, man. It's just really cool.
I love golf tournaments.
Yeah,
They're
count
fun.
West Pak in.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
do Shoup Off-Road Racing, but we
Dude.
closed that company down. So.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool, man. We would really enjoy that. Because we volunteer our time, too, to go out there and film it. And we have a good time, man. We go around, have drinks at the holes, and film everyone having a good time and smoke some cigars. And just, it's
That's
fun.
a great time.
Yeah, it's fun. So
Do you still have the trophy truck?
No, we got rid of everything. Sold the trophy truck, sold the chase truck. Still got the trailer, the flatbed, but
Do you have a Speed UTV on order?
No, but I had I just rode in one last weekend.
How does he
how'd
like
you
it?
like it?
Oh my God,
Is it worth the wait?
Yes.
What's the weight now?
Well, I don't know about the weight now.
Yeah, what the weight was.
Yeah.
3 years, 4 years.
Everybody was talking shit on, I'd throw my, little thing on Facebook here and there, but it just, what Robbie did
sick,
with those
man.
things is amazing.
Well, what he was able to accomplish, I mean, maybe he bit off a little more than he could chew in the beginning by doing tires, just doing everything under the same brand. But I mean,
That's Robbie, man.
I don't know anyone
You
else that
gotta
could pull
know.
off something like he did in this short amount of time with all the haters too. And I just like all the haters just don't appreciate what it took to get to that point.
I don't think they have an understanding. I mean, it's like you look at Polaris and Can-Am that, have a massive team behind all that, and they can just.
This is like Robbie.
Yeah.
pretty much.
I'm not like, oh my God, Robbie, I love him. It just, the feat to do that and to put that kind of product out. Yeah, I know there's been a couple problems with them here and there. My buddy just blew his belt, but I'm sure he was not. He was
Being
pushing
nice
it
to
to
it.
the he was
Yeah.
pushing to the max. But
Yeah, but look how many belts blowing the Polaris is. And everything else,
like
too,
blowing the belt is
constantly.
not uncommon. And that's why they have belt holders and belt storages.
Yeah.
And you always have
gonna
a
happen.
belt.
but the ride in it, and we hit some pretty good whoops and things like that. It was amazing. I was like,
so
oh my
cool.
God, like I don't even want to ride in my Can-Am anymore. But-
Really?
No shit.
That much?
Well, it just
No, I get
It's
it.
different.
yeah.
Was
Well,
it the they're all 4-seater, right? All the Speed UTVs?
no, you get
No.
two.
You get
and
the
I
two-
rode it a
okay.
4,
Did you-
so it was heavy.
That's awesome. So is your Can-Am 4?
Yeah,
Are they the same length? Because I know Can-Ams are long.
I think they're longer.
They're
the Can-Am's
really?
longer.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, Can-Am's
So-
longer. That's so awesome, man.
I can't wait to see one.
But now, like
know.
you said, hey, that or the trophy truck. Oh, but I'd take the trophy truck.
Well, for
every day.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But a play toy,
Yeah, but you can't take the trophy truck to like Glamis, the mountains.
Oh, you can.
Havasu. I mean, well, you can, but it's not as conveniently.
No.
It's a pain in the ass getting out of a trophy truck.
no.
Now, like what my buddy Dave Kleiman had, he had the that new Polaris.
Yeah.
On 37s.
It's massive,
Which
dude.
I was like shitting when I saw it on 37s. I was like, oh my God.
Isn't it wild? Well, then you look at
It
all the
looks sick,
components
though.
holding the 37 on there. You're like, dude, how long is that going to really last?
No,
like,
but on those new ones, the A-arms that are putting on the front of that
They're
thing,
massive.
they look like mini trophy truck
They do.
arms. And I was like, holy
I
shit.
know.
They are sick.
Yeah.
And it's
They're
like,
really sick.
man, should I get rid of my sand car and get one? I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna keep-
No,
Keep the
keep
sand
saying
car.
have fun with it. You kind of need a UTV as well, Just
Right.
they're both fun. Yeah, we've
So-
been out testing yesterday with Jason Coleman.
Oh, yeah?
6100s. He has two of them now. The Herbst Smith Fab ones.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so sick, dude.
Yeah, we
He
raced
has his
against the
dial.
Colemans, for years. I know the Colemans growing up.
That's
but
cool. They're
All
good
different
people.
parts of that family. They're good people.
Yeah, they are. Really good people.
But yeah, no, I would never give up my racing experience that I've had over the last 10 years. It's, just to say you've been able to do it,
memories,
complete the
man.
1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, we broke in the middle of the 500. Had a buddy try. He was all drunk at the 500 and tried to grab one of the Federale's guns. It was like,
Oh my
and we tackled him.
God.
We're like, no, what are you doing? And it's just like, you just create memories like that, and then
That's like the one thing you don't do.
Everyone's got that one friend, man.
I got we raced the Mint, and I got another buddy like I hate to admit it, but he peed on the front of the cop's truck in the parking lot. Like broad daylight, he was all hammered. So.
Alcohol,
we have a picture of it, but we won't name any names.
it always makes the alcohol makes the good or the bad ideas always seem like the best ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally the wrong ideas. But.
Great memories, man. Great memories. That's insane.
I mean, and then like my best memory is probably at the Mint when we were qualifying and we rolled 4 times in qualifying and ripped the rear end out. I mean, you'll see that video pop up on social media all the time, and it's just
gnarly one,
that
man.
one.
I know. I actually want to see it, and I'm sure I've seen it, but
yeah, I know our Instagram's still up for the Shoup Off-Road Racing, but it's on there.
I'll check it out.
Tuba has it, I think, on his. And it circulates. It's
so
just
insane.
If you just type in Shoup Off-Road Racing crash, Mint, it'll pop right up.
But
the whole rear end flew out of it.
Did you fix it and go race that weekend?
No, it wasn't.
At that point, you're like, okay, fuck this. I'm just gonna sit back and hang out with the family and drink now.
I was driving, and then Brandon was co-piloting for me.
Oh, that's why he was telling us about that one.
Dude, that's gnarly.
Yeah, Was it
qualifying or during the race?
Qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that one's Apex?
Yes.
Yeah, Apex is gnarly though, man.
And the year before that,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is that rural?
After that, we came in and it just,
dude,
we hit a G out in the bottom and it threw us ass over tea kettle and sideways. And
God, dude.
So much fun.
We walked away from it though. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt.
That's good. No one died. No.
I mean, it's rare. There's some massive wrecks in all forms of racing. When you really look at where we're at now versus like you look at some of the old stuff back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s, right? The safeties come so far with all of these.
Oh, it's incredible.
And then that's that's the scariest part, I think, for me when it comes to racing or being in a race car is like you feel almost invincible.
Yeah.
Like you really feel like you can't get hurt.
Yeah,
but yet death is real close to, knocking on your door when you're doing it, but you feel invincible
safe.
with everything in it. Like,
well, they say with age you get a cage, and
that's for sure.
I went from a dirt bike to a quad. I crashed real bad.
Truck cage.
Well, that's pretty much it. I crashed real bad on my dirt bike. Quad, I was like, oh, this isn't safe. And then I built my own sand car, and so they were doing that. Then I got into racing, and then I just want to go further in racing, and then it was just like, when you're doing on the Parker 425 and you're going down the back straightaway coming into mid, and you're doing 120 miles an hour, and there's a roller right in the middle. And you can have a full-on conversation with your co-pilot. And you're like, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to check up for this? Are we going to hit it at 120? And, well, no, hit it at 120. Okay, realize what you're saying because there could be somebody on the other side of that.
know.
And if that happens, we're not walking away from this.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, send it.
So you're sending it at 120?
You're sending it over a roller at 120. And, it's just like...
It's fucking awesome.
And then your adrenaline's going.
Man.
It's just...
Oh, yeah. Then you once you live through that, you're like, you're really invincible at that point. Like, yo, we did that. We're good. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's
so
a lot of
sick,
fun.
though.
One of our future guests, we're trying to pump up someone from the boating industry, DCB. You yourself, you have a DCB, right?
Yep.
You have the 33?
Yeah.
With outboards.
Twin 400s, and I'm trying to decide if I should maybe call Tony and get those 500s.
You should.
Give us
credit for it. Just give us credit for it. Sean, Lambo and Leroy totally sold us on it.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know if I got a cool 160 grand laying around though to do the swap.
Dude. That's so crazy.
So you have the outboards on it. I think you were telling me. I mean, you literally fill that thing up with gas at the beginning of the season, right? And don't put gas in it because they're that fuel efficient.
Yeah,
it blows my mind.
And it's not like you're just like you're not doing like the whole typical DCB boating, right? Where you just go to the channel and park.
Dave's channel boats.
Yeah,
no.
Dave's channel boats.
No, I actually like to drive my boat. We were just out there last weekend. I put like 20 gallons of gas in each side, and I think we ran up to Pirates and we ran down to the Springs. I want to say I burned a total of like 12 gallons on each side.
Dude, Jesus, insane.
Yeah. I mean, because like when we had our MTI or even like Brandon, their boats, like we'd put 200 gallons in it. And then if we did that, we would be out and have to get gas with 200 in.
And it just like, I don't know. I've had inboards. I had a 25 Daytona. I had a Nordic Deck 29.
Dude, they're so classic.
And when I got in the 33 with outboards, like you could have a full on conversation like this.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah. With no headphones on. Yeah. And you're just cruising, talking at 90 miles an hour. You can listen to your music. It's smooth.
But do you miss a rumble?
I don't.
No.
I rode in Brandon's 31. Yeah. We did 132 miles an hour this weekend with his new 700s from D1.
Yeah.
But
I've seen that.
We broke those in.
You broke them in.
Yeah.
Did you guys go on the D1 run with them?
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
We did the breakfast run.
Awesome. How was it?
Yeah, it was good.
I was going to go. Oh, we were in Big Bear last week.
We've known Dane for a long time. It's good to see him doing well. And
yeah, it was his birthday. So we stayed right up front with all 4 or 5 of them.
Nice.
You know, and we were doing 90. They jump on it, but you're not going to hold it open for 100.
No, you're not.
130 miles an hour for the entire length.
Yeah.
So,
well, we used to try to back in the Desert Storm poker runs. This is what you do in the first
Well,
leg.
you're trying to go.
Yeah.
You're trying to win.
But no, we had a blast, and I rode in Brandon's 31 a couple days, and just how loud it is, I'm like, just put me back in my 33. I don't know if that's an age thing, but
you know what though? Here's a trip about those outboards, right? So I mean, our MTI was geared low to where it would pull. We've had some big horsepower boats when they pull. You know, my dad has that 34 Sensation with the 3-400s on it.
Yeah,
it's a big ass heavy boat, right? Mm-hmm. Dude, the amount of torque these stupid things have for what they are is impressive. Almost, I mean. It'll probably, I mean, I would say your boat would probably almost pull harder than Brandon's boat with inboards, outboards. I mean, just because power to weight ratio.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I beat him out of the hole every time. That's for sure. Anybody, the 35s with 1100s, I'll beat him out of the hole. And I mean, they are still getting on plane when I'm already on plane like halfway down the lake.
That's what's crazy, how fast they plane too.
Well, they also all want to put big ass giant props on it for top speed too. Yeah. So I mean, with the aerating tubes,
dude, I like getting on plane instantly though. Like that's the best feeling. Just up and go.
And then it just reminds me of like when we get on plane, it sounds like an Indy car.
That's what's so, dude. If someone can make an exhaust for one of those, that could be a game changer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can. Like, you've seen some of the 2-strokes too with the expansion chambers on it. It sounds so wicked.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's insane. They're such dudes.
Is it a trim sensitive boat?
Yes, very, very sensitive.
That hole is sensitive though, right?
I've only ridden in a 35 and a 31 and a 33, but you can be trimmed all the way down and pin it, and you're not going to go over 55 miles an hour.
Really? That much difference?
Yeah. Well, it's just because the prop on the back's blowing off too.
Yeah, but then once you start messing with the trim and you're going up 10, 15, 20%, you just feel the boat lift out of the water and just take off.
Do they have like hydraulic jack plates where you raise the engines up and down, or is it just trim forward?
I know some boats do. Mine doesn't. Okay. I haven't ridden any of those. I really want to get into 37. I had some buddies that rode in a 37. He's got a 35 now. And he's like, I'm going to sell the 35. If you want to buy it, I'm going to get a 37.
It's a good looking boat.
It's a sexy boat. So Donnie Tolson, we just had him on last week, and he just ordered a 37. So
did he?
It's 14 months out though.
Wow.
14 months till he gets it. But yeah, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
So
and
twin 450s.
I heard through a friend of a friend.
Was twin 450s now.
Now it's going to be 10 500s. Yeah.
Which we should start a bunch of rumors if Tony's going to come on. And so we can get these verified. But I heard they're going to make a 33 or a 34 like the 37 with the walk-off.
Sick.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah. So can you imagine that thing with 450s on it?
Yeah.
Or 500s?
Dude, last week we saw a 25 Speedster with 2 450s on the back of it.
That's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that would be, I mean,
it's so fast.
I like driving
the torque
boats.
the 450s have is insane.
Oh, it's insane. Dude, the 450s were game changers. I'm really curious on these 500s, though.
I mean, the 400s were solid. And I'm curious what the 500s are going to do, too.
Well,
you have 350s?
400s.
Yeah, 400. Okay, cool.
And that's what's cool, though, about the outboards. You know, not bagging on Brandon, but as soon as he turned his key on, his warranty was voided for his brand new motors.
Yeah.
Well, and I heard something like with those 1350s, like to service them, to have the warranty, you have to take it to a Mercruiser mechanic, and you're talking like 25 G's an engine.
I think it's more than that.
Is it? Probably, yeah. Maybe that was the first one. The second one goes up.
But then like mine, I had put the extended 2 or 3 year warranty on mine.
Yeah.
And I had the 2-piece prop shaft in my lower, and it had a hairline crack in it.
Because that was one of the first problems, breaking the prop shafts.
Yeah, but mine were 2 pieces, not just one solid.
Oh, okay.
And, AJ at Barrett, he sent a picture and everything over to Mercury, and it was in one motor. And, Mercury, I mean, they've treated me well. They said, just go ahead and replace both.
That's awesome.
Lower ends.
Because losing something
motors.
like that at speed.
That is awesome.
When one only had a problem.
Yeah, I mean, losing something like that at speed, though, could be
so bad.
Yeah, to an extent, I think. But with those tie bars now and everything, it's just...
Yeah.
But yeah, they took care of me and, the extended warranty. And that's the thing, though, is you can run those things full speed, at a, 100 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour, and they're still going to cover you under warranty. But as soon as Brandon started up his new 700s, it was warranty voided.
Just saying, when you start up an outboard at the dock, nobody's looking. But you start up like Brandon's boat, everybody starts looking.
I don't know, man. Listen, I love the rumble and all that, but I love having good gas mileage, and I love having that warranty and something that's reliable, because those outboards are so damn reliable. You could start up and go. You don't have to stress on it,
Now, don't get me started on the pontoons, dude. My dad's got a new Bennington they're
so sick.
Bitchin'.
They're insane. Bryce Minji's got one with twin 450s on it at Bennington. It's so sick. They're so fast.
So many bells and whistles on that thing.
You know, we have a Bennington. It's the 28Q, but it's got the big block inboard outboard because we still wanted the back step and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes we wish we would have gone to the outboard, but you know, when you park anywhere in the lake, you're on the back of the boat, right? And sometimes
That's true, though.
with the kids and stuff, and you know, you got 2 big engines on the back with cleavers on them and stuff with the kids swimming around. Like sometimes I
do understand that.
I don't know how I can feel comfortable around that. But our buddy had an Avalon with twins the other day, and you know, we're sitting there 50 at the most, right? And
See ya. Right by,
going right by. I'm like,
so sick.
No, you're right with those cleavers. That ruined my weekend one weekend. I kicked one.
Did you?
Oh, dude. Poked a hole right in the bottom of my foot. And like, I probably should have got stitches, but we just drank a little bit more and closed it up with super glue.
That's what they would have done anyway.
I just cleaned it in the lake water.
Pack some avocado in there.
Put some glue
it's
on it.
Havasu. It's clean, right? What's your favorite? So you go to Havasu pretty much all the time?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part in Havasu? Where's your like your spot you go to?
Steamboat's always good.
Yeah.
You know, you get a pretty good mix of crowd in there. Good people watching.
Yeah. And there's good sandy beaches in the back around.
Dude, when you can get a beach on there, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
You know, the new sandbar above the old sandbar is pretty good too.
It's pretty cool. Speed alley where everyone's hanging out, watching everyone go by.
Oh, no, he's talking about the one just past the sandbar
on the left-hand side.
On the left side.
Once you get,
well, so it's been there for years. We used to go there, but now it's actually built up to where you can park your boat. It was always one where you had to like dock out, like the little sandbar was. Or not dock out. You had to like throw an anchor and stuff out.
Yeah.
Now it's got like a little beach on it.
That's cool. You can actually bring your boat up onto the beach.
I'm sure they'll run buoys around that thing soon.
I'm
so
sure
we
they
can't
will.
park out there.
And then the refuge sandbar, people call it Disneyland or whatever.
Disneyland. Yeah, I love that. That's like my new favorite spot.
They call it Disneyland?
Yeah, back in the day they called it Disneyland
because it had a water slide somebody put in there, right?
No, that's actually
or Disneyland was down more.
So like, you know, when you're going up the river, you know, you pass, you know, the mouth, you're running up past the buoys, and there's a spot where it gets narrow with the 2 rocks. Just past that, you'd make a right and run that actually maybe a little bit further. There was one you would have to idle for 20 minutes and would go all the way up against below the homes, and that's what was Disneyland.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's still the refuge sandbar.
Is it?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think what he's talking about is a little bit further up. So refuge sandbar is like pretty much right when you get through the mouth.
Yeah.
You go on the right hand side in the refuge or the secret sandbar, refuge sandbar, whatever it is, and then go up a little bit more. As I think was. I
haven't been to the secret sandbar, the refuge sandbar.
Dude, it's so cool. It's so fun.
I haven't been out much this year at all. I don't know if I'm going to get out till July. I'm going to try and go spend the whole month out there.
Do it.
Probably won't be able to spend a day, but
we'll be in Powell for the beginning of July.
You're in the houseboat out there?
Yeah.
That's so sick, dude.
That's going to be fun. We're going to take the pontoon, the stand-up jet skis, got some other jet skis.
Bro, perfect.
It's so much fun. You get a 3-story one?
Just two. We just did one of the local rental ones.
You can see that shit, all those burning down up there.
Dude, crazy.
Yeah. And you're like, oh shit, I need to check.
Where's my mine? Yeah, they actually released something. The PD released something yesterday about that. They said it was an accident. It wasn't. Someone didn't catch them on fire.
Yeah,
it was
and that was at Wall Weep.
Natural. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so crazy. Are you going to Antelope?
Yeah,
cool. That's the best, man.
Yeah, we'll cruise out to Havasu, grab all the shit, and then head up the next day, spend the night on the boat. The night before, leave, spend a week, and then come back to Havasu for the weekend.
That's gonna be so fun. Where's your house in Havasu?
We have one on North Point, kind of behind Walmart, the gated one, and then my dad's got one kind of right above Windsor.
Cool, nice, yeah. North Point, I think Menzies is building a house over at North Point right now, in that area.
Yeah, probably. Maybe Refuge or something like that.
It's not the Refuge, it's somewhere over there, though, right around there.
Yeah.
But
well, we're going to wrap this up. I got one question. You know, I thought the worst thing that would pistachio ice cream. I thought was going to be disgusting. It's actually pretty good. Are you guys going to come out with like any sort of avocado ice creams or anything like that, or nothing?
No processing for us. Just fresh avocados. We don't want to mess with the taste. But I do have a good recipe for like an avocado mousse. Really? It just adds a shit ton of sugar in it, so you can't go wrong with sugar. So.
Is that really sweet then?
Yeah, it's good.
So it tastes like avocado, just tastes like sugar?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Oh, thank you, man.
You know, my door's always open down there, so if you're ever in Temecula, Marietta area, come by, see the packing house. And
does that go for all of our listeners also?
We could probably do something if we put something together,
All 10 of them are going to show up.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, come down.
No, thank you so much.
You're going to shit when you see what goes into avocados, and you're going to be like, oh my God, no.
I'm really excited.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'll bring the hot sauce. You provide the avocado.
Yeah. I'll bring the chips. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Thanks, guys.
man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say, I got him picking up the pieces.